Hello, we've got Andy Walker on the show this week, who runs 3 top businesses in Scarborough: Cowshed Burgers, Espresso Yourself Coffee, and of course Walkers of Bar Street. I don't even know where to begin with this episode. It's a good hour packed full of content. Running multiple businesses, managing staff, how to approach Andy if you want a job. Explicit lyrics in this podcast, so don't watch in the car or listen in the car if you've got the kiddies with you. But needless to say, it's an absolute cracker. So enjoy.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers. Right, welcome, Mr. Andy Walker. Those who don't know you, I'm expecting most people will.
Yeah.
Who are you?
I'm Andy Walker. I am a self-employed person about town. I have 2 coffee shops and a restaurant. And
you're going to shamelessly plug them.
I was shamelessly it's Espresso Yourself, 1314 Falconer's Road. What was Bar Street, 14 Bar Street. And the Cowshed Scarborough, 94 to 100 St Thomas Street.
Get yourself down there if you haven't yet.
Too right.
The best burgers in
Don't
town.
eat too many though, because you look like this. It's not good. But
So I'd describe that as is it serial entrepreneur, or I guess it is more than
professional mug.
Professional mug. Yeah.
No, you think it's hard doing it once, then you think it's hard doing it twice, and then you do it a third time, and it's just like you forget what 80 nowadays are. And for the first few months, it was long slogging.
Yeah.
When I opened Cowshed with my business partner, I went in there at 6 a.m. to let some cleaners in. We blitzed the whole place, and then I had people on holiday at one of the coffee shops, so then I had to go work the full day there, and then I had to come back and try and sort some out. And then my first shift in the summer, waiting on, I'd never waited on in my life, and I had to learn to wait on a full shift there and then, and had no choice.
Not like being thrown in the deep end.
It was terrifying. It was terrifying, but it was really, really good.
Yeah.
It was a bit emotional as well, actually, because it was a long road to getting there. I was really nervous as well, because it is a really, really loved place to be, and when a place is like that, the customers sort of have a sense of belonging to it.
Yeah,
it's like their favorite place, and it's their favorite food and stuff like that, and it's like a really big responsibility to be able to work with that and try and go forward and maybe elevate it or change anything. But changing core things is like, it's like pulling teeth.
Yeah,
you just don't know how people are going to react, and so will they decide not to come anymore because they don't like what I've done because the previous owner did something else. And it really gave me a proper big complex.
It's a funny sort of town with that though. Like, small town, word can spread very, very rapidly. Where like you do something positive or negative.
Definitely.
But then plus it's like, I don't know, I guess in that sales industry you're never going to please everybody, and every decision you make is not going to be 100%.
No,
everybody's going to buy
and
it.
The quicker you learn it, the more sleep you'll get.
Yeah.
Because I felt like I thought it was there with the coffee shops, because people are so particular about anything and everything in their lives. So I felt like, right, if somebody says something, it's like water off a duck's back. Obviously, they're very precious over what they want, and that's fine. I'll try and give it to them and move on from there. But when you go back to square one and just like literally a deer in headlights and hoping that everything is going to go smoothly and everybody's going to like everything, and it was terrifying. It was the most, I would say, the most nervous I've been for an opening because of the reputation it had. Previously with the other coffee shop I bought, it had been running and people sort of knew what was happening.
Yeah.
Whereas this one was sort of kept quiet. Yeah.
Plus I guess you went from coffee shop to coffee shop and then onto burgers, which is a different...
Yeah. I was a very good customer before I went, so I sort of had a grasp on most things there. But in terms of running it, I just saw it as a hospitality environment. So I knew I'd be good at front of house. I can bash that out as soon as I know what I'm doing and where I am. But when it comes to the kitchen, when it comes to everything else like that, I had to be like first day of school and learn what was going on. Because
I suppose that's hard when you're also the owner
Yeah.
as well. Like, I mean, it's like a weird dynamic.
It is because you're trying to get the people who think you know what you're doing to teach you what they're doing.
Yeah.
And regardless whether you work for somebody or you don't see the person you work for, you expect them to just know. And I was just not there at all.
Yeah.
I know a lot more now. I don't say I know everything because I really, really don't. But it's getting there now.
How long have you been in there now?
Just over a year.
Oh wow, that's flown, isn't it?
God, I have no idea where it's gone. It's gone super, super fast. And I think the first 3 months were a blur.
Right.
And I was literally running on empty, trying to get everything together, walking around like a headless chicken. Some customers asked as if I was ill.
Oh really?
Because I was just pale with black eyes. I was just no, just trying to earn a living. But it's one of the better things I've ever done.
Yeah.
Definitely. And a product of right place, right time, right people.
Yeah, that's what.
And I am very, very lucky. I fell in with the right guy, business partner, to do that with. I made friends with the previous owner, and we were sort of on a level where we could talk frankly about what I wanted to do and what he wanted to do and where to go.
I guess on one hand, we're lucky, but then my old dad is always a big thing of create your own look. If you hadn't have done what you went into coffee shops and put yourself in that position, then the business partner might not have seen it as a...
No, we had been trying to work together, funnily enough, since 2011.
Oh, so you're just waiting for
He used to come to Costa near enough every day, same time, and I was always there. And there was a few things in the pipeline that were coming up, and for one reason or another, they never worked out, whether it was we didn't get the right building or we didn't do this, we didn't do that. And then I went on to do my own thing, and it sort of lay dormant for 4 years.
Yeah, but then I guess...
But we were still friends the whole way through it, and
a
very big supporter at the coffee shops. But something just clicked round about May time, and we were right, let's focus all of our energy in trying to do this.
I suppose that's how I guess it was meant to be, where you went out and had 4 years of running the coffee shops.
Cutting me teeth.
Because could you have gone on to the burgers? Could you have gone straight from working for Costa into the burgers?
No, God, no.
It'd have been a different...
No, I would have crumbled.
Yeah.
I knew what working for somebody was, doing my bit and going home. And I was quite happy doing that. I wasn't particularly happy at Costa because, I was low level. I was just barely a supervisor, working long hours for not a great deal of money.
Aye.
And having no creative say in anything.
Yeah.
And it was literally this is what you serve, this is what you do, this is how you do it, and you don't do it any other way.
Yeah.
And to me, not that I don't deal well with being told what to do, but I like to have some sort of flair on anything I do.
There's a common theme here which has been coming up in these podcasts, and I've mentioned this more than once for those who have listened to every episode, which will hopefully be most of you.
Loyal people.
But again, I credit my old boss, Mr. Simon Biltcliffe, for this. He probably needs it from somewhere. But in employment, you need, or not just employment, in your working life, in your career, you need three things in equal measures, which is a financial return, because if you didn't,
nobody does it for the love.
Nobody. Well, you need money.
You love what you do, but you need money to live.
We need money to live. So financial return, emotional return, and intellectual return.
Yes.
So, and you need them in equal measures. And unfortunately, so many people and so many businesses focus on the one. I've had previous jobs where you get paid enough short. As soon as you've tried to think outside the box or suggest a new idea, or should it get paid enough? You boxed in, do that job.
Do your job and we'll do ours.
Yeah.
Thing, yeah.
But no matter, I fully believe that no matter who you are, you need to tick them three boxes. Some people's emotional and intellectual need might be lower than others, but they're going to need it in some sense.
Yeah.
So if you're not, and it sounds like maybe it cost you weren't getting that.
No, I got paid, but not.
Yeah.
Oh God, what was it back then?
But
£6 something an hour was the minimum wage.
Wow. Yeah.
And it was hard, especially in the summer. It was hard graft. They were pulling in I want to say like between 12 and 15k a week.
Wow.
And there was 6 or 7 staff, and we all went on at one time. It was skeleton. They run on between a 19 to 22% wage margin.
Yeah, wow.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's including the manager or not, but it's hard graft, and it taught me everything I knew, so I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, that's...
Definitely.
Yeah.
I remember writing my notice letter when I finally decided that I left once to get a job doing voiceovers for Yellow Pages, and that was mint.
Yeah.
That was like my dream job, but I am not cut out for office work.
Nice.
There's too many minute little bits of politics that I can't deal with.
It's a different...
Somebody sitting next to you like that could drive you insane, and you want to rip the head off. But instead of talking to them, saying how you feel, you put regards on your email instead of kind regards. It's like, short hair. I can't be dealing with that shit.
Unbelievable. And when I've done, well, not even out and out office level, where I've gone to companies where there's a culture of email and stuff like that. I've been sat there where I've been in a room and like someone Skyped me an instant message. I'm like, wow, like I stood up and went over and spoke.
Yeah, they've got these internal messaging things.
Yeah.
I was like, you're like a 4 second walk away.
Yeah.
It's fine. I'll come talk to you like a human.
And yeah, I couldn't wrap my head around that either.
It's like when kids want a job, and they will not, for the life of them, and it bears my soul, children of Scarborough, parents of children of Scarborough.
Any teenagers listening want a job?
I do not want a Facebook message asking if I've got a job. Bring your CV in, say hello to me and chat to me. I'll get to know you. I'll know that you're sound as a pound, and we can talk from there. If you send me a message in, have you got any summer work? Please, I am 15 years old. I used to put this little spiel about what I'm saying now, but I will just ignore it because it boils my piss.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to learn how to speak to another human, regardless if you feel nervous about it, because everybody's had to do it. Print your CV off physically and bring it in.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of tangible, getting something.
Yes, print is good, children.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
You can recycle paper, it's fine.
It's a big thing of mine as well, though. Like when I went for like the best job I had was with Webmart, and they're a big, quirky, yellow and bright pink branded up company. The boss, like flamboyant entrepreneur, and I'm thinking like they approached me a few years before I actually went there, so we've always kept an eye on each other. But I sent in, I was like ready to join them then, and I thought I'm not going to send a black and white CV in New Towns Roman into this company, so I did it. In fact, I wish I had it printed off. Ironically, it's the same. I did a CV in almost the same branding.
Yeah.
But my company's now is all blue and
subconscious, isn't it?
Yeah, weird. But I printed it off like properly. I put a photo of myself on there, and you just
caught an eye.
Yeah, but like, why not? Like, don't be
yourself. Don't be a slave to Facebook Messenger or Facebook or Instagram or anything like that. I know I advertise on all of them, but every time I post a job, I specifically say apply on Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed mint. I love Indeed. Or bring in a CV and talk to us.
Yeah.
Because I don't do interviews. Like, any of my managers don't necessarily really do interviews. I have a chat.
Yeah.
I'll make you a cup of tea, we'll sit down, we'll have a chat. If you can carry on a conversation with us for more than 5 minutes, I know you can do that with the customer.
You pick up a lot more than a fake.
Yeah, you can be trained on how to do everything in a job, but you cannot train somebody to be able to talk to somebody.
Right.
And regardless if anybody's got any issues, anybody's anxious, or that there's anxiety or any sort of mental health or whatever that is quite prolific in the workplace now, you can still talk to somebody, you can still do something. I can open yourself up, like literally just relax, chat, and that's how you get a job.
Yeah.
I don't believe anything you've done before. If you've got some sort of experience, mint, but you can't teach somebody to be sociable, or you can't teach somebody to be hospitable.
Yeah.
At all. And I think that's the most important thing. And I think that's how I've got my staff to like where I've got them now, because they're all mint.
Yeah.
Shout out. And they're all really chatty because it's sort of like pub banter without the alcohol.
Yeah.
For the coffee shops anyway.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important because we get loads of people in recovery coming for a coffee now, because they get that sort of banter.
Yeah,
they get the pub banter, but without the alcohol or without any.
It's a funny one that, because like when you talk about alcoholics and stuff, yeah. So I guess it's not just about the actual alcohol.
No, it's about everything.
It is a thing of, yeah, I get that. And I've never thought of it like that.
And a lot more places and a lot more businesses are focusing on experience more so than they ever did on product.
Yeah.
But if your product's good, I'm not saying I've got the best coffee in Scarborough. There are other people who do a far superior job of coffee than my businesses do. But I like to call it commercial coffee.
Yeah.
It's to a standard that's good. It's quick. It's tasty, and you'll be served really well.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important. I mean, I frequent places that the coffee is just everything about the business is fabulous, and that's why I like to go. But I never ever say that I've got the greatest coffee. I love my coffee. I'm very, very partial to it, but it is what it is. It's commercial. You make it quick, you make it the best you can, and you give it out with a smile. And I think that's what's more important sometimes, because you can have the best product in the world, but if you're a prick, nobody's going to want to buy it.
Yeah, exactly that. And I've noticed that because obviously we've worked together. It's been about a year. Because I think it was maybe that first week or so in the shed.
I can't remember where or how.
I was in the shed. And,
Yes,
and
yes, you were at that big meal.
And James Toll worked at the. He knew you from working in the bank.
Yes.
And he said he was like, because I'd done menus for Cowshed with the previous, and James said, "Oh, you need to chat around," and we just did, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think you had something lined up. And I showed you. I looked after. I had my iPad or phone with me. And
there was somebody. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
There was someone who did another one.
Yeah.
In very much the previous style.
Yeah.
And then there was yours, and yours just went like it flew off the screen. It was really, really good. It was really striking, and it was different.
Yeah.
It reminded me of a record sleeve.
Yeah, I guess the old square.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's different, and it was really, really cool.
But I was glad of that because it'd have gone to waste if we didn't.
Yeah, definitely. And all your time and effort would have gone to waste as well.
Yeah, well, I'd have billed Mr. Jack Body if you're listening for that.
Refrain from saying your name. But
He's coming on after this, actually.
Is he?
Yeah. The next episode will be Jack, I think.
Oh, he's luscious, Jack.
Yeah.
Return my calls.
Oh yeah. So bad at that. Anyway, let's go on a tangent of hammering Jack Body.
Not on camera.
But where were we? Oh yeah, sort of staff and stuff. So if I was 15-year-old, 16-year-old leaving school after a job, I think I'd be looking. If you think, oh, I want to go and work in Cowshed, or I'm going to ask Cowshed for any jobs, I'd be like looking at your colours, what you do, going all through your Facebook, and I'd be like, oh, here's my idea of a burger.
Yeah. No pun intended. I would beef off that.
Yeah, but
I would. Thank you.
You've used that before.
But I would love it if somebody like took an interest in the business. Like, obviously, you're 15-year-old. You're going to be pot washing. You can't serve the alcohol. You can't do anything. You're going to be pot washing. But if you take the initiative to figure out what the business is about and prove that in your CV or something else, then you'll know that that'll stand out 100%.
Yeah.
Instead of a Facebook profile with a Snapchat filter on, with cat whiskers and fucking cat ears, and saying, have you got a job, please? PLZ, question mark.
Wow.
It's like, I'm dyslexic, but I can spell fucking please. It is something that is really, and if you look on my private Facebook, I've done it so many times. People of Scarborough, I do not want Facebook messages asking for a job.
Yeah.
And especially when I put specifically, email your CV to this, bring it in, or apply on Indeed.com, and people still send messages when you basically told me you can't follow instruction.
Yeah, exactly.
So you've cut yourself out there straight away from employment.
What do you think it is? Do you think it's an element of laziness?
No, I've
sliding into the DM.
I've never said that before. I should figure it out. I think it's a generational thing, and it's not necessarily blamed on anybody. And I hate anybody who blames anything on generation. But sometimes Facebook Messenger is all kids have known.
Yeah.
Like, remember when you were when we talked about we're the same age.
Yeah.
MSN.
Yeah.
You would leave school and get to talk to you on MSN.
Yeah.
Instead of just going out with your mate and talking, you would wait to get back, put on dial-up, listen to the computers, make some stupid noises.
Get off phone and
Yeah.
try to pull.
and you'll go on MSN.
Yeah.
But I still knew how to write a CV, write a letter and send it.
Yeah, but I think it was like you work MSN Word at your fingertip 24 hours a day.
Yeah, I love social media, but I think it's the devil as well.
Yeah, I think it needs to be managed properly.
Yeah.
And
Just create some sort of inferiority complex in anybody. Anybody can feel inferior because everybody realizes, but nobody addresses the fact that people only put on stuff that they want to put on.
Yeah.
Look at their glamorous life, they're doing this. I'm guilty of it, but I post every 6 months.
Right.
And it's usually when I've got a day off and I've gone to Leeds or I've gone to Manchester to go to a gig or have a drink.
Yeah.
And it's either a funny picture of my dog or a cocktail.
Do you have this will be an interesting one. Do you have the thing where people, peers, let's say peers, so friends and people outside, like on the fringe of the circle that you find yourself in? Because I have it where, you're self-employed, you've got a business, you're rich, you're loaded.
Yeah, I got told yesterday I've taken over Blue Crush.
Alright.
I haven't. I wouldn't want to. That place is so busy and big, I have not the time. But
You got told yesterday.
It's probably a gold mine, but everybody thinks that and you don't know about their overheads. But I have a huge thing about this as well. You're hitting all the right note. And how many times have you been told it's all right for you?
Yeah.
You've got your own business, you're sorted.
Yeah, or you're lucky.
Yeah. You're very lucky to work for yourself, definitely.
Yeah.
But not from a financial point of view.
Yeah. I think
People look at the superficial things and think they're doing all right.
Yeah.
Or you're wearing X branded T-shirt or this, that, you drive this car, you do this, you do that. And it's like, yeah, but you don't see the sleepless nights I have. You don't see anything. You look at my bank account. I am currently in my overdraft.
Yeah.
I don't have millions and millions of pounds. I don't have thousands of pounds in my overdraft like a normal person because I am a normal person who is self-employed.
Yeah. And
if you haven't got the money to pay yourself, you pay the staff first and then you think about paying yourself after.
Yeah. And that's a big thing that... I was at a wedding on the weekend and I left my car there and we're getting taxis and I've got something out of my car before we got to... I got like, fucking hell, like... You must be doing well for yourself like that. Well, quite proud of what I've achieved, but that car's on finance, mate. I'm not.
Yeah, mine too.
I don't want into that and pay cash. But
you get that set. Everybody thinks you've got a car and you pay cash for it because you're a businessman.
Yeah.
It's like, no, 4.9% APR over 4 years, and then I still don't own it. You've got to either give it back or get another one. It's like what everybody else does. It means no difference, except if you've got a van, you can claim the VAT back.
Yeah.
That is it. And I got given the best start in life. I got given my inheritance early from my gran.
Yeah.
And I put it on a deposit on a house when I was 22.
Yeah.
Without her, I would have had... My life would have gone a totally different way. And I'm so thankful for that. I got some help. My gran saw what I was paying in rent on my own at the time and said, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So you can have there's X amount, you can have it now and put it on a house and buy a house, or you can have it when I die. And well, that was just grim anyway, but I prefer to have done what I've done now because she can see the money she's given me of what I've done.
Yeah, it's good. Good for you.
And not even in business, in the house. And I think that has put me on you grow up super quick when you actually buy a house because you've got to do everything for it.
Yeah.
And I think I've gone that way, and it's led me into business. Well, I grew up in business anyway, but it was sort of led me to where I am now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have had fuck all for one of her.
Yeah. And
like housewives or anything like that.
Yeah.
I would have got there, but a lot later in life.
But that's where. But again, that's it's good of you to share.
Which ties into the it's all right for you.
Yeah, but that's like a private thing, and that's not got nothing to do with anybody else.
Yeah, but people will look at that. If I didn't have that step up, I wouldn't have been able to move house and then move house again. What I have now, and it's just like people see the exterior stuff. They don't see the massive mortgage I've got. They don't see your figment, your settlement figure on your car. They don't see anything like that. They just see the things.
Yeah, but this is why there was a number of reasons why I decided to do these podcasts, and one of them was just to show a real side and just share the journey. But I'm kind of, I guess in a way I'm aiming these at younger people leaving school.
Yeah.
Because I think if this platform would have been around when I was leaving school, I probably wouldn't have gone and stayed in a print factory for the first 8 years of my what would be considered a prime life.
Yeah.
I learned a good,
working life.
Yeah, we learned a good trade, and I think I was very good at what I did. Did I need to stay there 8 years? Probably not. I could have had 4 years being a bit.
But it's a safety blanket.
Yeah.
You're getting your wage. You're living all right. You're living at home, probably.
Yeah.
And you've got money to burn.
Well, I did, and live your mint life. Do it. That's the positive side of doing that. Because
but then that is one of the reasons why you stayed there as well.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like when you think, I'm guaranteed my wage.
Yeah.
I've signed a contract. I've done this. I've done that.
Yeah.
I guarantee my wage. I sort of enjoy what I do. Let's just keep on doing it and see if I can learn anything else. And then it's only when, again, with the creative, the emotional, and the financial come into question, is when you start thinking for yourself.
Yeah, and I guess that was when I did take the plunge and went to work for Simon at Webmaster, who he says that in speeches a lot, comes out with a further, so I'm not claiming credit for that. Yeah. But I think up until the point I went to them, I'd come up with back when my dad's been at the same company for 40 years, and when I went into Pinder, we were in Scarborough. Like when we were leaving.
I moved here in September 08 for university.
Oh, so you're right, okay. Oh, yeah, so it was like 3 years after we left school. But at that time, when we were leaving school, Pinder was the place to be. And it was like, yeah, go and get a job there. You got a job for life. None of the wives work. It's all, and I'm like, yeah, I went in with that. And then when I got there, it was like, it was on 128 quid a week apprentice wages.
Yeah.
But when blokes were off, I'd cover them, and because we were heavily unionised at the time. Could earn top dollar, and then you do some other times. There's some times before I was 18 taking on $1,000 a week, but then suddenly the bubble does, and you'd be back down on the 1 to.
I think I'd be dead if I got that idea.
Oh, it was like I remember my dad saying it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But I don't know. You live accordingly. But I think looking back, there must have been some entrepreneurial thing in there. I just think it took probably taken right up to my son being born for it to actually be extracted out. But I think if I'd have been advised differently or different than it had come out earlier, my advice would be to try and do it. If you having any thoughts, like do it before. Yeah. Perhaps you
follow your gut.
Follow your gut.
Ironically, follow your gut. No, but if you harsh light, terrible. No, if you really feel it and you've got a fire for it, you fucking do it.
Yeah.
You really, really do it. And I know a few people who have, and they've never looked back.
No.
At all. I think it's the best and worst thing you could possibly do. And it has to be the best and the worst, because it's not all rosy all the time. In my game, I have to be happy and smiling most days. Depends if I've had a coffee. But I could have the VAT coming up, I could have wages coming up, I could have this coming up. Cash flow might not be the best, but I've still got to pay all the bills and hope that people are still going to come in, and people do still come in, thank God, not much. Yeah. But it ain't all rosy.
No.
It really isn't, and people think you have your business account is stacked up, there's tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of pounds there, and you can do whatever you want. It's like, no mate, I have to allocate and hope for the best, and people don't understand wages. You've got another 12.5% to pay on top of what you actually pay people to the government. Pension schemes every month, VAT every month, and it's just it piles up to what you pay out before you even pay yourself. And I think, what's the saying? Is it walk 1,000 miles in somebody else's shoes or something like that?
Yeah.
And I think until somebody does that, they'll never ever realise.
Yeah, but I think that's what for me. It's been a big test and growth of resilience, and I'm a lot more. I feel like I understand other people a lot more now, and try and don't judge anybody.
No, not
because you don't know what's going on behind the scenes.
No, not at all. You don't know what's going on behind closed doors at all, and that's one of the toughest things you've got to do, especially with staff as well.
Yeah,
you don't know what's happening. You're expecting them to come there. You just do. Everyone's got to be happy, smiley, do your job and go home, but you don't know what's going on, so you don't just assume everything's all right.
Yeah.
It is a tough one, but
So
you sort of get it with practice.
Yeah, and so how many staff are you looking after now?
Overall 3. It wavers up and down, just depending on the season, but it's between like 24 to 26. Which
24 to 26 staff?
Yes.
Wow.
Which is terrifying.
Yeah.
Considering on the 26th of July 2014, I had me, somebody else who came from Costa, Lindsay Welburn, came from Costa, out of sheer loyalty, give up a full-time proper job at Costa to come work for me, never knowing if it would work or not.
Wow.
Which was amazing.
That must be testament to
yes.
she'll have seen something in you.
I hope so. We got on really, really well, and she's an absolute rock star. She's brilliant. She's just come back. She's now a qualified primary school teacher, which is coming back to her this summer for us.
Ah, brilliant. Yeah.
Because she's doing something with her life which is huge and amazing, but she just wants to save all the money she can.
Yeah.
But it's so nice to have her back.
Is that a hard thing where it's on one hand you really don't want her to go, but on the other hand you're buzzing for it to...
I try to remove selfish emotions.
Yeah.
Obviously you're going to feel them because you really, really like people. And I got to know Lindsay really, really well. She's my little baby sister.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you want to see them flourish and do what they want to do and what they have to do.
Yeah.
And it's mint. And I like full support of anybody who wants to do anything. I had a member of staff leave. I can't remember if it was it last year? Maybe last year. Lottie Holmes.
Oh,
She worked for me for a while,
really?
and everybody around town will know because her cakes are everywhere. Lottie's vegan cakes.
She'll sing with Jack.
Yes, she used to work for Jack as well, and she sings with Jack, Lottie Holmes and Sad Boys Club.
Ah, okay, that's
and she left to bake her own vegan cakes and sell them everywhere. And she's flourishing now. She's everywhere in the best possible way, and she's doing her thing. But I'm sad she's leaving me because she was very good at her job. And everything she was really, really good, but she had to do something for herself and move forward and do her thing, and that's mint.
So I guess you can feel pride though.
Yeah. If she went to another coffee house, I'd be pissed off.
Yeah.
But she went to do her thing, and she felt so strongly about it, and she's good at what she does.
Yeah.
And that's when it's really good, and that's when what I think now the newer generation of self-employed people encourage, whereas the older generation in Scarborough, the business owners, it's what are they doing?
Yeah.
What are they doing? Are they doing this? Are they doing that? Are they copying it? But now I feel anyway, personally, I always say it's community. It's not competition.
Yeah, and that's...
You do what you do, I do what I do, and let's go forward together.
It's a small town in one sense, but it's big enough to support multiple people doing the same thing. We've found that, and a lot of our customers have never printed before, and it's, I hate this millennial bracket, but it's people of our...
I love the millennial bracket.
Yeah.
I use it, but I love it.
Yeah, I love it when you all type it's brush.
And think you're lazy, live on your computer, don't know how to talk, and just glued to your phone.
Yeah.
And it's like,
But in the other, I think we're more bold and... Anyway, we won't go down that.
Yeah, no,
but it's right. But I think I feel there's specific to Scarborough now. There is a bit of a new wave, a new making wave. Pardon the pun. There's some good stuff bubbling away there, which is unsung.
There was a BBC article on the news app today, and.
About young people leaving?
Yes.
I see it, I read it.
And did you see Coda Coffee?
Yeah.
They interviewed, for the life of me, sorry, I can't remember his name properly now. But he was like, I've just opened my own business in the centre of town, and he's doing well, knock on wood, and he's doing his own thing, and it's really, really, it's a really fucking cool space. He's doing his thing and proving that just because he is of a certain age does not mean there's no jobs here. There's nothing I want to do.
Yeah.
He's making his own opportunity for himself to work, and I think that's sometimes people blame geography for so many different things. I live here.
Yeah.
It's shit. There's no jobs. There's no this. There's no that. It's just you just haven't seen the right opportunity for yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't pursue it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I hate it because I moved to Scarborough for uni. I was going to be a music teacher. I did a music degree. Was never going to be self-employed. and then somehow fell into what I've done. But I hate the fact that people shit on Scarborough so much, because it is a beautiful place to live, it's affordable, and it's got a plethora of so many businesses, so many like independent businesses where you could work, where you could train, where you do anything, and people just give it such a shit rap.
Yeah, they do, and the press don't help that.
No, not at all.
Even our own press, I think. But I think even in business, though, you see these certain awards and there's a lot of the same. I'm not going to start naming these names. I think a lot of people know they are. There's the same names come up in business, and they've not actually done anything new or been innovative or changed anything for like 30, 40 years. But they're winning the, because they're like in there with this weird clique, I think, at like higher up, like within Scarborough. I think there's a new wave of people bubbling away, and I think we can all get together more and help each other more. We can.
Yeah, well, I did an interview for the Daily Mirror, and I called it the Independent Revolution.
Yeah.
And it is the independents are coming back and taking over the high street and taking over the offcuts of the high street. And you see all these big companies who are failing, who are begging for money because they're not doing it, and they employ a lot of people, which is why obviously they get the funding and stuff like that. But they're all struggling in the climate we're in, and it's independents who are absolutely flourishing because people want to spend their hard-earned money on somebody who's local, who supports local people as well.
Yeah, and you can see that you do that because I haven't done it as often as I'd like, but if I need a meeting in town, I'll go into an Espresso Yourself. I'm not a coffee drinker, unfortunately, but we're going there. We've had probably 3 or 4 meetings in there.
Yeah.
And the vibe I picked up in there is that it's not cult following is the wrong word, but you can sense that
it's community.
Yeah, community. That's it.
I always say you can be alone in there without being alone.
Yeah, and they all know you and another staff, and
they all get to know each other.
Yeah,
that is what I love about coffee culture. You can go somewhere not knowing anybody, and if you end up like going 4 or 5 times at the same time and you see the same people, you make friends, and people sit at the same table now together,
cool.
Whereas they used to sit on separate tables.
And it's good when you walk in. And
it's fab as well. It's like people getting to know each other and they're cracking on together, and that is the emotional return I get.
Yeah, there you go.
I absolutely buzz off that. Like when people enjoy your product, they like coming to your space, but then they get something else from it as well that money can't buy. You can't buy friends. They're just there, and you make friends that you get to know people, and that's what I like.
Yeah,
that's what I really like.
Yeah, and it's working because like you come up quite a bit actually when I'm out and about, and even before because I'd never drunk coffee, I'd driven past Espresso Yourself and seen it's a nice place, and I always looked busy, but my hairdresser was like, I was doing this going, I'm doing Cowshed, but it's just been Andy's got it now. Oh yeah, Andy, we're going every morning, and it's like
it's a weird thing.
Yeah,
I spoke to Jack about this not long after he started Cowshed, because Cowshed was like my mecca. A fat man rolling in pig shit. It's just like burgers, chips and beer. I was happy. And I was like, everybody in town is talking about this place and talking about you. He went, they're not. I mean, mate, they are. It is such a great thing. And Tom opened it with Jack at the time as well. Yeah. And they did such a great thing. And people are really talking. You never hear what people are saying about you, because obviously they never say, have you heard about such and such?
Yeah.
And that's what I find weird. It's like, people have said stuff and this, that, and the other about you. And I was like, I get really uncomfortable about it. It was like, I just told to work and toddle off back home and play with my dogs and hope for the best.
Yeah.
But it's good that people are talking and talking in a positive way as well.
Yeah, they definitely are. From when I've been out and about. So that's good. It's good like that. You say it strikes your emotional return.
Yeah, definitely.
As well. Yeah. I guess, what about the intellectual?
The intellectual is getting to create your own products.
Yeah.
Do copywriting on adverts and stuff like that.
You enjoy that?
I used to do it at Yellow Pages. I used to write the scripts and record them for these businesses. I got a check sheet. This is what they do. Make something up for 30 seconds and hope for the best. I love that, and I do that. Like, I don't post on social media as much as I should for the businesses, because we're too busy.
Yeah.
I can't spend 10 minutes taking a photo and doing this and this and this because I'm too busy now, more than ever, really working on shift and doing it. I lost my way a bit this year. I was just so run down after like nearly 5 years of constant hammering it. And I just felt like I just didn't want to be there anymore. I just wanted to take some time for myself and stuff like that. But now back into it, it's really, really busy. And to make up like milkshakes and then when Christmas comes, we used to do like the 12 drinks of Christmas and do all this sort of stuff and get like a creative buzz.
Yeah.
And you have the final say on what you do, and all the staff like pitch in, and we all have discussions and stuff like that.
So you're giving them the platform.
Oh yes, I can't come up with all this shit, Boris. Like I want, like everybody can talk about everybody's idea, and then you just sort of make them, give them a bit of finesse as well, and we all do it together.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about it. I get a real creative buzz because I'm a creative person in and out.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy doing all the products and stuff like that, and especially when it comes to like doing the menus and doing the branding and stuff like that. I work with Dan Elland, who is it Keep Digital?
Keep Digital, yeah.
Worked with him on Espresso, and we went to the merchant, had a pint, and sat down for 2 hours and created all the logos, everything for Espresso before we opened. And I really, really enjoyed that as well.
Yeah, that's how it should be. Sit down, have a pint.
Yeah, definitely. I hate all this. I hate formal stuff. I hate the fact that people think you need to wear trousers, shoes, and shirt to work.
Yeah. I
went to work like this today. Yeah. I'm a minger and I didn't get changed. But I want to be comfortable at work.
Yeah.
I don't want people to feel like, oh, that's the boss. And just like, that's just Andy. I want to be respected as a boss and treat like a boss, but I don't want stiff collar type. I don't want to divide.
Because you lead by example, not by fear.
Yeah, definitely.
Have them old school bosses that hiding behind a great big like fuck off pinstripe suit
and they've got this massive like mahogany table with the leather thing in the front, and they're just sitting there with the lamp with the green glass shade, and they're sitting there staring at you, giving like the fear of God in.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be that. I've got my little office that has no cot because my puppy scraped it all up. I've got a dining table with all my paperwork on, which I'm trying to put onto bloody QuickBooks because it's tax has gone digital now. And it's just like that is me in a nutshell. I'm just like, I'm not bothered. I don't want this all grandeur thing. I just want, it's like spitting sawdust.
Yeah.
My whole motto in business and life is keep it simple, stupid.
Aye.
If you're trying to overcomplicate things, it's just not going to work at all.
Yeah. No, and it's absolutely right. Be yourself, and you'll get, obviously, you've got a team there who respect you and feel like they can come to you.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes. But that is what I like. It's always a team effort. Teamwork makes the dream work. Always. Yeah. Always.
Do you cross over all the staff in the business?
We have done in the past, but it does complicate things.
Yeah. So
wages for one. I have to do back transfers and stuff like that to transfer wages, and it's not. It's just giving yourself more to do. But everybody's adaptable.
Yeah.
Especially with the coffee shops. If somebody needs help, you said, like we just text each other SOS. Like, I've got a massive queue here, could you spare? Yeah, we'll run over. And then they just like, if they don't know what they're doing, they just run on pots and stuff, and vice versa. We do all that sort of stuff.
I suppose they've all been a mile radius of each other, probably less than a mile.
It takes about a minute to walk to Walkers, and then about a minute and a half to go to Cowshed Burgers. So that's what I literally used to just walk in circles around Scarborough all day, sort stuff out, and then go home. I'm a massive control freak as well. Self-confessed control freak.
Yeah.
But if I had a business in Whitby, it just would not work.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't be there at the drop of a hat. And I wouldn't know what's going on properly like that. And I haven't been able to remove myself as much as I would like to from having to know everything that's going on. But
you say you're not micromanaging. You go in and
like I want it to be right.
Yeah.
And when your name's above the door, your name's on the gyro check, you want everything to be how you want it.
Yeah.
It's like you sending out some print. I was like, that's alright. It'll do.
Yeah.
And I hate that'll do.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be, it's all or nothing sometimes. And it's sometimes, I found, especially with staff, it rubs staff up the wrong way as well. Yeah. And I don't mean it to, but when the sole responsibility of everything, it lies on your shoulders. You want it to be the best of the best of the best of everything you can do, and if it isn't, then you want it done properly.
Yeah, it is a completely different like weight on your shoulders. And I've not, in fact, I've even gone back to previous bosses and said, you know what, like I can see things from your shoes now.
Yeah.
I'm not even a bot. I've got my brother as a business partner, but just having say it's your name above the door is a completely different.
Yeah, it's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
You're thinking, oh, why is he nitpicking? Why is he doing this? Why is he doing that?
Yeah.
And I've heard somebody say that was nitpicking. I was like, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Because I nitpick and I make sure it's all how I want it, and it makes it sound like a prick, but if you're ever in the shoes we're in, and obviously other business owners around town, but it makes a difference.
Yeah.
It really does. When I remember when I was at Costa, and my manager was like, "That's shite, do it again." I was like,
yeah,
calling my stuff shit, and I totally get it. But now I get where, like you said, I get where my manager's coming from.
Yeah, but it's hard. It's hard. Like, how do you get them to see it in your shoes? That like.
I take the coffee off them and say, "Oh well, this is for you. You have a drink of that, and we'll do another one for the customer."
That is literally.
Yeah. Like start with a negative, work on a positive, and then work on an all-round positive. And I've learned that now. I haven't implemented it in all my work life, and I know when I haven't. And I've spoke to staff who've been on the other end of it, because I'm not friendly and happy all the time. Sometimes I have my moments, but it's something you gradually learn, and it'll be the same with you and clients, because you must have had some difficult clients, and you feel like you just want to tell them to fuck off, go somewhere else. But you've got to remember you're offering the service, and it's bespoke to the client.
Yeah, in a way we've had a few tricky clients, and not
Jack Body.
But luckily we've done 300 projects now, and we've had across 100 local businesses.
Yeah,
and there's probably been
that in itself is insane.
Yeah, it's mad. Like considering like only full-time 6 months.
Yeah.
So I'm proud of that though, because I'm passionate about this town, and we've helped improve them businesses and what we've done. But yeah, there's probably been only 2 or 3 we've come across which I'd describe as difficult.
Yeah.
And where I've looked inward on it and thought, because a lot of the stuff's like we've sort of allowed them, because of like maybe a lack of terms and conditions or a lack of upfront conversations, we've allowed them to be difficult. And if we'd have, for example, like charged more or had conversations up front, then they wouldn't have been as difficult. So we've looked inward on it and grown. That's
but that is, you don't learn from anything you do right.
Yeah.
Bang
on.
Yeah.
You feel proud of the things you do right.
And if you make it through that as well, you're like, right, it's been a shit experience, but it's been a good experience because I can learn. I'm definitely not going to fucking do that again. Implement something so you move forward. Going forward, I used to say that all the time. Going forward, you don't do it again.
Yeah.
And you know not to do it again.
It's right. We've had it where difficult clients where they've actually come away feeling buzzing, because I'm like, right, I know exactly what to do to stop that happening again.
Yeah.
So it's
but you turn the situation around, and that client will come back.
Yeah, exactly. The client's fine, right? The client's have what we've got. It's like internally, it's like,
And we had a slight issue when you did my boards.
Yeah.
And we printed the old style boards instead of the new ones that we had designed and stuff like that. Yeah. I wasn't here for it, but I got a text saying, shit, the wrong ones are on the boards. I'll get them reprinted, I'll get them up, and I'll take off the installation charge.
Yeah.
Without me saying anything though.
Yeah.
And you were just like, okay.
Probably by the time you got there, they were
up. They were up and on the wall. And if you hadn't texted me, I would have known nothing about that.
Yeah.
But you saw it, bang, 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 and it was just that's customer service, and that is what will get your client retention as well.
Yeah, and that's probably more positive. That's actually been more positive than if we'd have put them up.
Yeah.
The fact
definitely.
In a way, but
people can see how you deal with stuff, and it was anybody could have made that mistake, because of the way we were emailing this and the other. There's so many back and forwards between the designer and the new guys and then me, and it was easy to get caught up on that. So it's like anybody could have made that mistake, but the way you deal with your mistakes makes you more as like a boss and as a business as well.
Yeah, I think, and you feel I feel emotionally attached to every single job I do, like every single job.
And there's your emotional return.
Yeah, and there's my emotional return. So yeah, when it goes well, it's great, and when it goes that one was just dealt with in a day. But I've had occasions where I delivered a job to a customer, and they found talking 10,000, and they found one flyer where it was all flooded with black, and me. I can go Sherlock Holmes on any bit of print and figure out exactly what's wrong with it and why it's happened, what machine it's being done on. I can
your craft.
Unstop, yeah. And I knew what had gone on, and I'm like, yeah, I'd like to get these redone, and we did, and they were happy.
Yeah.
They didn't want to, because it was literally wanting to buy that. No, we're getting double sorted.
Yeah.
So, but that's because I wouldn't have been happy.
Was that out of your control as well, because you sent them to a third party?
We got a supply that was out of our control, but then I could. But
because you're the customer front, you have to deal with that as well. But
I knew what had gone. I could see that bit of print and knew exactly what had gone wrong.
Yeah.
I picked up bits of print and I know sometimes I can see exactly that it's a certain roller setting on a certain machine.
Yeah.
I literally can go proper. Yeah,
encyclopedic.
But we are openly an intermediary. But we work just as we try and have as good a relationship with our suppliers as we do with our customers.
Yeah. And if you've got £1 million overdraft to buy all the equipment, feel free to go for it. But that if you're upfront and honest about what you're doing, it's we facilitate for you and work everything else. And obviously we make a profit on it as well, but that's in the nature of business. But how you deal with it, and you dealing with other people who don't want to deal with that, it's match made in heaven.
Yeah,
definitely.
So we're absolutely accountable, and that's how I do it.
But another person might have just went, oh well, take this out, I'll chuck £5 off the bill, there you go, that's fine. But you wanted your product delivering, because you deliver by hand as well, which I love.
Yeah.
If it's close around town.
Yeah.
And
most jobs it is.
And if it isn't 100% right, then you want it 100% right, because it's your name on the box with the sticker.
Yeah.
And you want to be right. And that is where I get that's what I mean by control freak.
Yeah.
You want everything to be right. You want that to be right, so you redid the entire batch.
Yeah.
That's what I mean by control freak.
Yeah.
You just want it to be right.
It's kind of there must be a better phrase for it out there somewhere.
Yeah.
Control freak.
Perfectionist.
Yeah, even that. But
that's still a dick if you're a perfectionist.
And I remember we're sat here now doing a podcast first. We haven't rehearsed this. This is all raw.
Yeah.
But I remember in my old role, the boss.
Alcohol driven.
I'm having a drink.
Cheers.
Cheers. But my old boss was I was quality and innovation manager for a company dealing with national firms print. And you were right, you're going to be out there find out what's new in the industry, or new papers, new materials, what printers have got a new product coming out, and so I loved that. It was perfect for me. But it was you need to relay that information to our team of 45, and I wanted to do it in a weekly video. I've never been in front of a camera before, I've never done a video. And I think I spent a day doing a half an hour video.
Yeah.
And the boss was what the fuck have you been doing? I'm I've done it. I did about 40 takes. Do it first. Do it once and put it out there. And he's right.
Yeah.
So.
Especially when it comes to stuff like this. Because if we then decided we're rambling on shit, which we probably have done, and we started again, it wouldn't be the same.
No, it wouldn't. And so what if air is not perfect? So what if?
I spend a lot of time on this.
Yeah. The mirror there has been doing it all this podcast 3 hours later.
Such a diva.
But stuff like this, it's and I've again that's where I've learned. But if he hadn't been like that, we might have been we'll do a quick run through. So they wasted both of our hours, an hour.
Definitely, yeah. But then that in itself is such an innovative way of presenting what you found to the team.
Yeah.
Instead of doing a PowerPoint presentation, or doing a newsletter, or doing a report that nobody's going to fucking read because it's 50 pages long and they can't be fucked. We've got loads of shit to do.
Yeah.
People want to watch a video. I fall into a YouTube black hole daily because it's if I'm doing paperwork, or if I'm doing accounts, I'll put something on in the background just so it's there. I can see it, I can hear it. But I'll go. I listen to loads of podcasts.
What are you listening to? Making Waves, all of them, obviously.
Making Waves, standard. I love Shag, Marry, Annoyed.
All right.
I knew Rosie, who's in that, from singing in choirs back in Shields. But honest to God, it's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And I listen to it sometimes if I'm on the train or in public places, and you find yourself just laughing.
Cool. So it's a comedy one?
It's literally, Chris and Rosie Ramsey. Chris Ramsey is a stand-up comedian.
Oh, yeah.
And they're married, and they just sit down and they talk about their beefs with each other, questions from the public, and then a celebrity question. I tell you what, it is one of the funniest things. It's quite blue at times, so it's 18 and above, but it's hilarious.
Right.
It's and it genuinely gives you a feeling of euphoria because there's no better medicine than laughing. It's so much fun.
No, you're absolutely right.
And I think podcasts now, especially in business, and they're talking about social matters that are going on. There's comedy, there's everything that you could possibly want to talk about. You listen to it and you just absorb it better, I think.
Yeah, 1,000%.
Then, because me with dyslexia, if I read something, I forget it and I have to read it again and again and again and again. But if I listen to it, it's in.
Yeah.
And that is the best way of moving forward. To even if it's like, I will search for a demo on YouTube of how to do something rather than read the instruction manual.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether that's just being a man and thinking the instructions are wrong. But if you watch somebody who's doing it, you will take more from that than reading how to do it, because you'll interpret it in your own way and fuck up whatever you're trying to do.
No, it's right. Absolutely. I'm exactly the same.
Yeah.
And podcasting wise, the old a lot of this is going back to, there'd be some psychology there, like where me and Si need to meet up again in August and have a pint. but he was like, we'd be driving around in my car and he'd be like, get podcasts on. I'm like, no, I'm in my car, I'm having music on.
Yeah.
But now I've got this like thing where I'm just like, I want to absorb information. There's been so many design / business related podcasts I've listened to in this last 2 years, which have been like phenomenal. And I know some of them now. We're some of the hosts, and I've been on theirs, and
that's the good side of social media.
Yeah,
it's accessibility to people who you can bounce off.
1,000%. And Mark Irons from Creative Waffle, he's coming up here to come on this podcast.
That's really
cool. So it's been phenomenal for me. That I would not have got that out of books, and I might well have even fallen off the hurdle early without them, because there's certain times where like 3-4 in the old office up there in the morning, I was like absolutely fucked and done, but like listening to them podcasts and you know that, and again I hope people are getting stuff out of this where you know that you're not on your own out.
That is the most comforting thing as a business owner. For me, when I first started, if you had a quiet or shit day, your first instinct is to think, what have I done?
Yeah.
Is what have I done to cause people not want to come back? And like, if you get a day where you didn't get a sale or an inquiry, it's like, I fucked it up. I fucked somebody off. I don't know what I've done. And again, people don't see you. Like, you're talking about being there at 4 or 5 in the morning. People don't see you working till the dead of night, worrying, panicking. And many times I've had dreams about VAT and PAYE and wages, and if everything's going to be canny at the end of the month. And it's just, people don't see that.
Yeah, no, they don't.
And to know that somebody else feels the same way is euphoric.
Yeah.
It really is. It's like, you're definitely not on your own, and people can sympathise and know how it is. And obviously the other people who see all the exterior stuff think you're walking on air, but it's
yeah.
You choose to live your life like that as well. You choose to be self-employed, but it's the best thing.
That's a big thing. Like we did touch on it before we came on camera. But there was like, I dropped some off at one of your coffee shops, and I was like, you were like, oh, Chris, I don't think I can even speak. And you were like, go round to Walkers and go and get yourself something to eat. And I was like, I'm not going to lie. And I went and I'm like that was a massive thing at that point for me. Huge, like someone read, understood exactly where I was at.
You were in the nicest possible way. You were a zombie.
Oh yeah.
You were like just gone.
Just dead and bothered.
And I know how it feels like. The first week Espresso was open, the painters hadn't finished, and they were painting, bless them, from 5 o'clock till midnight every night. And one time they left me. I was sitting on one of the tall tables we got doing something, and then I got woken up. They were like, "Mate, we're finished," and I was like, "They just let us sleep because you went." And I know what you're going through. They just didn't do, and you just needed like a square meal and a sit down and 5 minutes to yourself.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Especially, I don't know how you do it with having a kid as well.
Yeah, like,
God love kids and everything like that. But I would not know what to do if I had a kid, and that responsibility on top of another responsibility.
Yeah, it's a funny one because he having Alex, it's a massive motivation on one hand. On another hand, like sometimes I don't know. It's weird, like. You think,
it pushes you to work harder.
Yeah, it does, and you want. Sometimes you think, I need some time to myself, but then as soon as he's gone, you miss him.
Yeah,
it's
you want me time, but you want together time. But it's just like if you're sitting in the corner, I can get on with what I want to do and chill out. But I totally get that.
But like I don't work Wednesdays where I have him, and like it's just me and him one-on-one, and it's like mint. And there's going to become a time in a year or two when he's in full-time school and stuff, and that can't happen, and I'm going to look back and say
you didn't miss it.
I was there, like,
sure.
So I can look back on that with fondness. But yeah, he's been a driving a catalyst for this, and probably without his birth, I wouldn't have set it up. That's just like my story. But then I don't know, when you have them, there's like another something like within you, like just makes you raise your game. You know? But then you also appreciate them times that I can go back out to gigs. Like you love them more.
You have a night off.
Yeah.
See the grandma and grandpas.
But you appreciate it more than when I was doing it. Whenever
you don't think about it then, though, do you?
Yeah.
You're saying, I'm just going to a gig.
Yeah, it was just, but I got to the point where I'd seen I'm a big Cortinas fan. I'd seen them like 55 times, and obviously like, probably the last 10 of them, it was like, I'm going through emotion here.
Yeah.
Like what, I was just numb. I'm like, this is just what I do. I'm like, I need someone. And hours.
You've got a different perspective, I think, when you have a big thing in your life happen like that, and even music or anything else can change its meaning to you as well.
Yeah. But now I'm like, it's a funny one because you've heard of the Fiends, I guess, like the local Scarborough band.
Possibly, yes. I know names and I know faces of people who are in it.
Yeah.
I'm really bad with band names. I used to gig a lot in Scarborough for a long time. And now I don't go out because I don't go to pubs and clubs. But is it Perry?
Perry, yeah.
Yes, I've seen them at Captain Sparrow.
Perry on drum, but like they've just had Radio 1 players recently.
No.
Yeah. So they're coming on soon. Actually, quite possibly they might be on before because we're doing it around their single launch. So it might. But they may have,
I knew them before they got signed.
They may have been on the podcast by now, or might be on it, but they're coming on.
Very good at what they do.
But it was like I had like two sets of friends, and we all went to a gig together, and I kind of said, you play guitar, like you should jam. They did, and formed a band and that off the back of it, and so I've been quite close to them.
And you've written it in the contract, you're going to get a cut.
No, nothing like that. I like to open them. They played in Leeds recently supporting Bonner's Son's band in Ayla last week, and like going there, like £6, and it reminded me of the early Cortinas days, and I enjoyed that much more than seeing Cortinas 2 weeks before in front of 50,000 and paying £55. So it's like back down to I'm getting like a real buzz of like their mates and just supporting and like being there for them. I'm a big fan of like the smaller venue, down and dirty, jump around.
Yeah.
So
it's more grit. I think there's more.
Yeah, it's real.
No disrespect to anybody who's made it or whatever like that, but when people are just starting and the hunger's still there, that's when it's at its peak. I went to see Adele when her first album came out in Newcastle. Went on my own because there was no two seats together, and it was £15, and I've not been to a funnier, better gig, and it was like what 800 people in a theatre, and it was amazing. She fucked loads of songs up and made a joke about it, and I'll always remember it. And I think I was like 17 at the time, and that then to if I went to Wembley to see it, I don't think it would be.
No, it's not. It's completely different. But then you say you don't blame her because you know she's like real and that.
No, yeah.
Crack on.
Yeah,
doing
doing ridiculously well.
But yeah, it's nice to be there. Like at them. Yeah.
Pivotal moments.
Yeah, exactly. But I think it's a circumstance where we're all together, and I suggested crack on. But it's just good that.
And from that to being played on Radio 1.
Yeah, wow, in under 3 years as well.
That's cool.
So hats off to them. They're all talented at what they do.
Hard work pays off as well.
Yeah, they do graft. Like they really do graft. So yeah. So how have we done here now? We ticked over the hour mark.
Fuck. Sounds good.
No, that was good. So let's wrap things up with a couple of questions I like to ask. What's kind of a double-edged sword, this one. What advice would you give to your 16-year-old self now, apart from don't apply for jobs via Facebook?
I think Facebook was just starting then.
Yeah, well, it
I
was.
just signed up, I think it was last year of school.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I'm not leaving MySpace.
Yeah. Bebo, did you?
Yes, Hotel Bebo.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
And I'm glad that they deleted all them accounts now.
Yeah.
Man,
could be incriminating.
Full of Man United bullshit. But yeah, so double-edged sword. So what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self? / what's the best bit of advice that you've ever been given? You can kind of.
To my 16-year-old self, I would say to not be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
I was for a very, very long time.
Yeah.
Stick in, work hard, and know that to not look at the day, but to look like to the future.
Yeah.
I used to live to the day and think, oh, life's so shit. And like a typical teenager, life's so shit. Oh,
yeah.
And 2 weeks, you had to wait 2 weeks for something that felt like a lifetime. And now you think, where the fuck is 5 years gone?
Yeah.
And enjoy yourself.
Aye.
I had a very good childhood, a perspective to family and everything like that. But I had a tough school life, and it's not the end of the world. You're going to end up doing a lot better than a lot of the scrags who treat you like utter shit. And what was it? Success is the best revenge.
Yeah, like that. Like that a lot. That's a good one. In that, where you say about don't live in the day, live in the. How did you word it again?
Like, I used to live in the day, but I never used to look to the future.
Yeah, I like that because, and I've learned that's something that's been happening with me recently. Where if you went on day to day and like boxed it, but then like if you're working hard and doing it, it's all for like the greater good. And
sometimes I was like, oh, let's work to payday. Let's work till the next payday. Let's work till this bill comes in, and then we'll see where we're after that. But now, I have a mentor. I've been very, very lucky to have. He was a customer, and now he's a mentor. He's run huge businesses, and he's retired. And he loves numbers, and he's instilled like a love of numbers to me. Strangely, because it used to take like heaven and earth to make me do my books, and he is trying desperately to get me to do a 5-year plan. And usually my response is to still be alive. But the 5-year plan, and now it's taking shape, and it's not all about work either.
Yeah.
And that's the important thing. Life, you work to live, not live to work.
Yeah, that's right.
And you have to, and sometimes you really forget that.
Yeah.
And you have to really get it back into your Wednesdays off.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
Yeah, get some perspective on it.
And also the best advice I've had, and I shared it today with somebody on Instagram, is from your mum, who is mad as a box of frogs in the best way. But she turned to me one day, and I was just like stressing about everything. I'm unbearable sometimes when I stress. She went, if you worry, you'll die. If you don't worry, you'll die. So don't worry.
Yeah.
Don't easier said than done, obviously, but it really. And she said it to me when I first started, 5 years ago, and it's still fresh. And every time I'm like, ooh, it still happens. No matter how long you're in business, you still get hairy moments. And you're like, And I just try and remember that, and it sort of brings me back down.
Yeah, so when you get that, you'll hit that. There'll be some trigger. You probably get stressed to a point where a trigger will come in, and your mum's advice will drop
brings me, and a lot of my dad's advice as well. And my dad's been very encouraging. I can't remember any particular advice because he just comes out with it. My dad has no filter. A lot like me, has no filter. He just says it in the moment, and it's just like he knows how to talk you down.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I first opened it, I was like, Dad, I only have this much money in the bank, and I don't know what I'm going to do. He was when you've got fucking money in the bank.
Yeah.
And that was his advice. Hell's bells.
What was that?
A dead seagull. I'm joking. I have no idea. Fridge?
Strange.
We'll cut that out.
Yeah, we'll keep it in. Rock and roll.
But that is my dad's sort of advice. Just going some companies run £1 million in their overdraft. You've got some pennies in the bank.
Yeah.
At the time, it wasn't a lot of pennies, but it was still some pennies in the bank.
Yeah.
And that is what some things like that stay with us.
Yeah, do little snippets like that, and sometimes you just need to step back and put perspective back on it. Like move over the edge. You're eating.
Yeah.
Friends around.
You know where your next meal's coming from.
Yeah.
You know you've got a home to go to.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, people moan, especially in Scarborough, and I've done it tonight. People moan and stuff like that. But I've got a home to go back to. I've got food, barely any, but some food in the fridge. I've got a bottle of something in the fridge. I am living a really, really amazing life.
Yeah.
Regardless to whether it's financially, I am rich or poor. I'm very poor at the minute. But I live the best life I can live.
Yeah.
And that's important.
Yeah.
It's not all about money.
No.
Money's a taboo and people don't talk about it. You need to talk about money because people don't understand it.
Yeah.
People don't, especially young kids coming into the world, they don't understand that they've got bills to pay, they've got this to pay, they've got that to pay. And it's not school's responsibility to teach kids how to be adults, but people need to talk about it more, I think.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's I guess there was a thing like I never knew what my parents were earning or what they were doing. I think if I had, I'd be a lot better with money than I have been. But I think there's an old school you don't talk about.
No, you don't. I had it still from an early age because I grew up. I lived in the B&B.
Yeah. So
I lived in the business, and my dad put it away. All the guests, we had a little corner of the house at the back. Yeah. That's where we lived and slept. And my dad said, "If there ain't nobody upstairs, you ain't getting a piano lesson this week." Type thing, and it was that sort of blunt, black and white to show you fiscal responsibility.
Yeah.
So that sort of stuff sticks with us as well. I didn't know anything about money then, but I knew if there was nobody upstairs staying to pay to stay, then I couldn't have the things I would want.
Yeah,
that.
Without going actually into actual money, but you got the principle of it.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, good stuff. There's some good insights in there.
Yeah, try and get some out of that. Tend to ramble, I do apologise.
No, absolutely superb stuff. Thank you very much for coming on.
Cheers, pal.
Cheers. See you soon.
Like and subscribe. Ring the bell, shit.
Yeah.
Nah, I know that. I have no idea what I'm talking about.
See you soon.